Hey, so yesterday I woke up with a crazy headache. Like when I say a crazy headache, I'm talking about one of them stupid, dumb headaches. Like it's almost disrespectful type of headache. Like your body is disrespecting you the way your head hurt. I had one of them headaches yesterday, right? And of course, I gotta work. So naturally, I do not feel like working on this day, right? And to make matters worse, I had only got like 2 hours of sleep the night before because my head was hurting all night. I was hot. I had the fan on. It was not helping. My head was hurting hella bad. It didn't matter what kind of medicine I took. I tried to take some melatonin to go to sleep. All kinds of medicine. Nothing is working. My head is banging disrespectfully. And I gotta work. So look, man, realistically, I could have took PTO, right? But the thing about it is I had some work that was due that day, right? And it wasn't the type of work where I could have did it in advance and then already had it done. This was the type of work where the request came through on that day. It was like 7, 8, I don't even know how many. It was like 9 or 10 of them. And every single one was like, please get this done immediately. And that's on top of something else I was already working on that had to get done that same day. But again, I had to wait on somebody else before I could do what I had to do. So now I got all this work. If I call off, it's all gonna be piled up on me the next day. So I decide, man, F it, I'm finna go ahead and work, you feel me? Meanwhile, my head is still banging, even to the point where light will hurt my eyes, right? And so the computer just bright as can be, right? It's daylight outside, so there's light coming into the room. On top of the fact that I gotta do this work that requires me to be deeply focused, and you already know how it is when your head is hurting and then you have to think about something, right? Or just use brain power, it make your head hurt worse. The type of work I'm doing already give me a headache when I don't have a headache. Now I already got a disrespectful headache and I'm doing the work that give me a headache. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, look, I told myself, man, look, I'm finna just get this work done, and then look, when I get it all done, I can lay down and take a nap. And the crazy thing about it is, listen, I got that work done probably faster than I ever have got it done. And everything was on point, everything was correct, everything was A1. And this is on my like worst day in terms of from an energetic standpoint. I got a bad headache, I'm in a bad mood, I don't feel like working, but at the end of the day, I just had to lock in, right? So at the end of the day, what's the whole point? Well, the point is this. Sometimes you're not going to feel like showing up, but guess what? You got to show up anyway. But the crazy thing is look, we can show up for our job, right? You can show up for your manager that you got to be accountable to, and you can show up for your teammates that you got to be accountable to, or you can show up for your teacher that you got to be accountable to if you in school. But why you can't do that for your own goals, though? Why you can't show up for yourself that you got to be accountable to? You feel me? Why you can't show up for your kids that you got to be accountable to? But you can show up for your boss or your teacher or your teammates that you don't even know like that and that you don't even have no kind of relationship like that with. But you can't show up for yourself. So that's the first lesson. If you're going to show up for these other people when you don't feel like it, then learn how to show up for yourself when you don't feel like it. You say you want to lose weight, you want to be in shape, but you don't want to show up for yourself and cook healthy food. You don't want to show up for yourself and hop on a treadmill. You don't want to show up for yourself and pick up them weights because you don't feel like it. But you go to work when you don't feel like it. Oh, I got to pay the bills. Okay, and you got to live and be healthy too. You say you want to start a YouTube channel, but you ain't uploading. You say you want to be a full-time content creator, but you ain't uploading. You want to be a full-time entrepreneur, but you ain't working on your business. All these things that you say you want to do, but you don't want to show up because you don't feel like it. But you'll get a headache and still go to work when you don't feel like it. So that's the first lesson. But the second thing is, it's crazy how our society is really like that, to where we could be feeling terrible, but we still got to show up and do whatever else that we got to do. Now, like I said, I got PTO and I had an option. I could have took PTO. If I did, my manager would have been like, it's all good. You ain't feeling well. Get some rest. So listen, I'm not even trying to say like I'm in this terrible situation where I ain't got no PTO time, because I made my own decision to still work that day. So I did not have to, but a lot of people do have to though. A lot of people don't have no sick time like that where they can just take off. Or a lot of people, their jobs work different where you can only take this much, or you can only, accrue so much every single month. You know what I'm saying? And this is just what it's like for people though. And folks is just really out here not even in the best shape mentally or physically, but constantly having to push themselves to get up and go to work. Now, look, am I trying to say that work is bad and that we shouldn't have to work? No, I'm not saying that, because we do got to work, man. It's in the Bible. You feel me? God told us to work, but he also told us that if we do work, he going to take care of us. Hey, look at you. You working, but the bills paid, right? And if you're not working, listen, I'm sure God is blessing you somehow. But the point I am making, though, is we got to find a way to buy our own freedom back so that we can just take off when we feel like it and we don't have to be accountable to nobody else. Now, that's easier said than done, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But I am just trying to tell you to think about what type of life you want. If you the type of person that's cool with being on somebody else's dime and you don't want to be your own boss, you rather just go work for somebody else and they pay you a certain amount every couple weeks and you perfectly fine with it, then that's perfectly fine. And I want to be very clear that I mean that. I'm not trying to make nobody feel bad about, you know, being that type of person, because at the end of the day, it's different strokes for different folks. So if you that type of person, then that's cool. But listen, if you're not that type of person, if you are the type of person that's wanting to be your own boss, then you got to figure out your plan. You feel me? You gotta figure that out, because if you don't, look, you gonna always feel like something is missing on the inside. It's gonna always be that part of you that just ain't fulfilled. And you might be happy, you might be blessed, and you might be content, but it's going to be that certain piece of that puzzle that's just never been put in yet. But that piece is you, though, right? And you the one that got to make it fit. You know what I'm saying? You have to make your life what you want it to be. And so the whole purpose of that, tying it back to the headache situation, is that you're not going to always feel like it. Most days you probably won't feel like it. You probably going to have more days when you don't feel like it than days that you do feel like it. At least when you first getting started. Maybe later it might switch and it might be fun for you and it's something that you always looking forward to doing, especially if you're making a lot of money or whatever. But in the beginning, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be trash. It's gonna be terrible. You gonna hate it. At least most days, or at least some of the time. But you gotta be willing to show up even when you don't feel like it, man. By the way, if you somebody that's been wanting to get into journaling and you don't know how to journal, I highly consider you check out the journaling template I got linked in the description. Also, if you're looking for a good book to read, I recommend this book for you right here, man. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a good book. It talks a lot about mindset, right? And how you can think your way to the life that you want to live. It's actually a book that I'm reading right now, and I'm working on applying these principles to my life. And if you somebody that want to make the best out of your life, I highly recommend you check this book out. I got an affiliate link in the description, so if you use that link, I'll make a couple pennies if you buy the book. You know what I'm saying? I'll make a little something. But hey, other than that though, like this video if you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos, watch this next video, and then I'll holler at y'all next time, man. Peace.